team picking?
No, I mean, I'm all right with seeing it. It all depends on how they're going to be playing around it and what build he goes for. I've seen some kind of wacky stuff going on in some spots and some kind of not so wacky. I've seen the more normal, best kind of fun, and then I've seen get the quick little kill bottom as they bring 3 heroes. And then I've also seen some Spellcaster Luna builds, which are pretty hilarious. That's going to be the build versus a Juggernaut this game, but still pretty fun. And then we have the core IO. I think this is something that can really change everything because it has been starting to rise because they buffed the individual hero. Base damage got buffed, your spirits got buffed, your actual control of your spirits got buffed, and your overcharge now gives you spell land as well as attack for yourself too. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with this IO, and I'm looking forward to see how they can make it versus this big heavy team fight that can come out.
Absolutely. One combo. Burjui top lane already. Heavy pressure onto focus. Certainly feels like it's going to continue in this early laning stage. Be lane for the squishy old Lunas to farm into.
No, definitely not. And Phoenix doesn't really provide too much backup versus these 2 spell damage nukers. Sometimes when it's just your right clickers, right? Phoenix thrives because you're Spire Spearing, getting good trades. This is just hard magic damage. So Focus steps up. He's not helping. He's not at most of the levels. In fact, this is the top. Jeez.
Combo between the two. The Burrow Striker to fully charged. And then
they're going to try again.
Yeah.
Spartan might go down. Close.
A lot of pressure from the mid lane Flax. He's, of course, I guess expected with these early empowers, just crushing the mid. It's a 4 against the 4 for 0. Wish.
The only way Wish recovers is just, he's going to have stacks to catch back up on versus the Magnus, because that's just, it's an unwinnable matchup straight up. Just, you have your 30, 40 damage deficit. You have to just, work with your spirits and farm like that. Bottom, we'll see some...
Coming through.
Should die from Skylar. He will die as well himself, but he'll get the kill.
An honor for you.
But usually not the most beneficial thing to have happen because then he just brings the Jug items, and now Jug is way stronger than that Bat Rider, so not the best situation there from Skylar. But it's a tough matchup. They chose to do the Bat Rider versus the Jug. They tried to do some funny lane mechanics by pulling it around, but didn't end up working.
To slow down Runic. Top lane. The fact that Focus it had that quite a bit harder over time compared to Runic on the other side of the map. Burjui. Slower start for lane. Stop lane, just coming in. Flax, but Flax don't be worried at all. Farm up this and the start camps is getting a lot done. Top lane, it's got dive up Spartan. He's a waiver. Again, just needs to play so careful around.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. A lot of focus though, obviously,
on going on the heroes from these two. Now, Uka's not really been hitting many of the creeps, so his CS actually is the SK, not too impressive. Going fully in on trying to mess with focuses there.
Yeah, it's really important that Spartan did block that hard camp up top. That Sentry Ward is so crucial to make sure that they can't just constantly push the wave in, side pull, and just ruin Focus's entire game. So it's really nice that he's actually 14 last hits to the 9. Now they can actually start to pressure Uka a little bit as we see Killomancer's chosen to actually clear the small camp so they can't pull that one. I actually like this move by the Coddle quite a bit. Takes away all that small camp pull. Now Spartan can't reset the positioning. And yeah, Wish has just fully abandoned the lane. He's just farming jungle. Now the Coddle's going to start chasing him a little bit there, sapping some of that XP. And Flax is going to have a full level and a half or more, and quite a bit more farm than that IO.
Yeah, this guy is going to hit some very good time. He's in the pit. Killomancer. Oh, looking for the Dire's
middle tower is under attack.
Double damage.
Taken down with that final hit. Yeah, was he
fear of contesting the IO there? He can just bring in a buddy and take you out.
For Flax as well, with this sort of speed to the farm that he's getting, do you still get Echo Saber in the build-up as a mid-Magnus? Or
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think he should because he's also playing versus a very fragile lineup. I see 5 heroes on the side of Brame, that can die. But if they just get RP'd, the Magnus has good farm, he can kill them in the RP. Nobody's really a tanky frontliner on their squad.
And at this very good timing on the of course, that he said. We'll speed up how he can get the blink online.
Yeah, I like it quite a lot here. The bounty rune protection coming out. Looks like it might actually be 3 for Burjui. Never mind, they did not actually get
Dire's top
the one
tower
bottom.
is under attack.
Very low there, but kill mana allowed to slash once again and actually
Dire's
getting kills.
middle tower is under
Illuminate
attack.
straight into the lane, and Spartan not quite ready for that at all. Takes him down immediately. One lane will see a bit of an attempt onto Skylark, but a nice stun from Stominate holds the two of them back and renders them unable to follow up on the cast. Killerman step back to try to disrupt what Wish are doing, and he got at least I think he got three big.
There.
I think he got three of the big creeps there with that Illuminate. I mean, he's happy, and well, Wish certainly is. Killerman said, yeah, he's getting a lot done up there to keep him light here.
Yeah, ooh. All right.
Radiant
Gets a
structures
nice little
are
interest dive there in the
fortified.
RP. Gets out.
I mean, this is secretly, this is always the plan when you play the mid Magnus. You whiff the
Dire's
RP mid,
middle tower
then your
is
team
under
never
attack.
flames you for ganking side lanes, and you're allowed to continue to just mindlessly farm this middle area of the map with
The Owen mentality.
yeah, because now they look and he's like, hey, I've not got RP, I can't help. They're like, yes, sir. Black smiling away, he's going to be farming this Echo Blink still in no time.
Bottom. Skylark. He's chasing a courier here. His Firefly's about to end up.
Radiant's
He's about to
courier
get stunned
has
and
been
probably
killed.
Omni-slashed. He's got to move quick
He's
away.
got the bold charges.
Oh,
Oh, he can start the TP out,
oh,
but
the
they-
tree cut
Yeah,
though.
nicely done from Runic. And won't even need the Omni-slash blade during the lane. Enough to claim that kill. Top lane. Pressure
gets
at the same
another
time
one.
onto focus. Turn with the beam. You're right. Down bottom, Runek's able to use that Omni-slash to clean up Stominate. 2 kills for him. Top focus, popping the Eclipse. Try and force them back. They're going in. That's not poor Anuka. He tried his best. He went in with the Burrow Strike. Saw focus was low, but ended up Burrow Striking himself to his own death.
A little afraid of the IO connecting there.
Oh, he's going on.
Dire's top
They're just
tower
not
is
ready
under
for them.
attack.
I mean, he's cleaned up a Phoenix in the same sort of manner, and now he's just got it cleaned up Focus. Focus was like, hey, I could stick around, get some creeps, and Killermancer says no.
And now he's level 6.
Yeah.
Otto level 6 before Sand King is. And now, you know, we saw what Spartan was able to do with those recalls and moving people all around the map. He's going to be able to do the same thing here. He's going to be able to move the Jug maybe to set up onto Luna. And that's a very good matchup in particular throughout
Dire's
pretty much
top
all
tower
the games.
is
The
under
Jug
attack.
versus that Luna core
Dire's
matchup. He
structures
can always
are
just
fortified.
focus fire him inside of those straight up fights. So
Yeah, it's going to be very important for what really Skylight to just get the lasso on. If this lasso
and-
isn't there on the Jug, as you say, Jug's just going to play in a way that Luna's going to feel pretty helpless.
Dire's
yeah,
top
it's
tower
a really
is
nicely
fallen.
set up Jug game, to be honest. Versus the Nyx, versus the Phoenix, versus the
Radiant's
Luna, versus
middle
the Batch.
tower is
Everything,
under
it kind of
attack.
just feels like one of the more ideal
Dire
Jug
are
games for him. Especially with the Magnus at his side, too. On Phoenix, they're trying to dive.
The range is done. Still might have to kill though, Spartan. Spirits, and he does. He gets the kill. Magic on him. He's up from Wish.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Down bottom, Uku and
Dire's
Killermaster
structures
are
are
still behind
fortified.
the tower, but Wish and Spartan might come hunting for them.
They have Runic's TP, because he got recall top. He can actually TP down bottom if he chooses to fight here.
Just starting to poke onto Wish with the bow. A lot of heroes here from Brame.
Dire's middle
They'll
tower
quickly
is
take
under
down
attack.
Killermancer in the
Dire's middle tower has
What
fallen.
you can do to get his way out of this. So, team movement starting to come into play from
Radiant's
Brame.
bottom
Grouping up,
tower is under attack.
looking to really
Dire's
put the
top
pressure.
tower is
Does
under
mean that
attack.
the Flax continues to have complete reign of this mid lane, and as we've been seeing, Runic has done a very good job of just finding these places to farm that the Brame is just not in at all.
Yeah, I feel like in that bottom situation, I feel like Ukra should have played
Radiant's
the,
bottom
you know, the
tower
core
is under
role, where he
attack.
just bails out, he just gets the hell out of there, lets his keeper light die, and they just try to farm and get benefit. Because he's starting to fall pretty far behind in this tanking, but the call was definitely made by the team there to not defend that tower. Because Flax was pushing mid, Jug was pushing top, so a little bit of a mistake there from the tanking. They're still doing just fine, but he in particular is falling quite far behind in this
Dire's
game.
middle tower
So he's going to be a
is
little
under
bit more
attack.
careful for his own game. Because his
Radiant's
Kato is
bottom
just owning him.
tower
His
is
Kato's
under
got like
attack.
800 talents over him now.
It's having a great time. His Glimmer Caves. It's done. 9 minutes in. Tranquil's Glimmer.
Pretty sick.
Radiant's bottom
I mean,
tower
yeah,
has
excellent
fallen.
against Focus with Runick's going to do a lot in terms of saving these heroes that are already very hard to catch off guard.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I'll take one horn to do the damage of two.
I'm excited to see some of these tethered plays too, with the spell lamp coming in, with the Luna, with the Bat Rider as well in particular. I feel like there's some
We rely not upon
untapped
fortune.
stuff right there that could actually go on in this game, but they're gonna need it in this one, especially because they're starting to fall pretty far behind, getting themselves some nice kills, but pretty expensive for them. Luger again, not looking to farm. I mean, this tanking 20 last hits and not looking to push out lanes at all. He's just looking to be this fighter. Gonna get him really far behind, but
I mean, he's telling himself, hey, I got a Magnus, I'll get him powered eventually, I'll catch him. Lock. Blink Echo, it's going to be like a 12-minute Blink Echo. And as you say, like this Blink Echo RP, level 2 RP as well at this rate from Flax, it's going to ruin any of the heroes we catch.
yeah, and Runick's gonna have SNY. So
Yeah.
phase boot, SNY pretty much done at this 11-12 minute mark too. They have some phenomenal timing for themselves to look for all these fights. And yeah, although there is some decent team fight on the side of Brame, I don't think that they can nearly contest this because the Jug pick in particular just counters so many of the enemy hero. He's gonna be owning inside of these fights if he doesn't just get lassoed.
Just sort of opting to play a bit of the farm game.
Yeah.
Focus the best he can to keep up with cores on Fury, but the Empower is not going to be easy. Team to stay ahead until Brame's able to do in terms of fighting.
That just feels like they can't really surprise them at all here. They need the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider to really do much of anything. I feel like they'll get counter ganked really hard otherwise. We've seen the Sentry set up really nicely so far through this game from the Radiant side to watch any of the Nyx moves. And then, you know, without Nyx setting up, they really can't. And now the Blink Dagger is done on Burjui. They can kick up this pace. They can start being super active.
Yeah, straight up time to group. They've got the smoke on the 2 fix. They're ready to go. This is a big reveal and one that I don't know if Brame can really prepare themselves against.
I don't think so.
Well hit. Someone's going to die to this, and at least someone, maybe 2.
Yep, they're walking directly in. They're going to run the fight. Just throw the RP on him. Take him out of the fight.
Skylark. I mean, they just fire.
He's dead.
He just went in. I mean, he's got back. Maybe they can find some kills return. Focus is able to clear up a couple of him and Wish. See if we can get more. Maybe they can. It's actually a fix their head. It turns with a paralyzing cast. Will hold them back. So Brame, but to be fair, you know, with Starlight heading in like that, it didn't allow them to turn in and gets them in return. Just looking for the Omni Slash. Wish, a little too speedy as he and Stominen are able to get out of it. Brame at least able to bring down a couple with them.
Yeah, that was actually pretty decent. I'm kind of confused where Runick was. I thought he was closer inside of the fight, and then I saw him just dangling around inside the river, not actually walking up to go. Because I thought he was going to get on top of the Luna or the Io there for a second. The fight returned very quickly, but a decent hold there for Brame. All things considered.
Yeah, not bad at all against that. You said that big reveal, that first jump from Flax with the haircut.
And with having Skylark just walk into the fight and die, right?
He just
goes
walks
down,
in,
and he might be able to set up Ruger here. Yeah, I don't think they get this.
Solid move save from Brame. The quick fast items off Burjui. It doesn't look like this movement's going to stop. Instant smoke as well after getting that pick off on Uka.
They kept the lasso. That's the important reason why. That he thinks he can make a move. And it's a relocate bottom. So looking outnumbered. They get the lasso.
And they've got it. Lasso in from Skylark. Runick rules. Get the Omni Slash up, but there's too many freaks. He's not going to have damage to get the kill.
Still alive though.
Radiant's
They leave
middle
focus
tower
here
is under attack.
on the chance of maybe trying to finish him off, but they can't. Runick's going to live. And Skylark, he will likely go down. Cast and Maledict. Skylark will shoot. And also Flax, he found it. He found it. Focus in the trees. Flax hunted and chased, and he got it. So what looked at, I mean, it looked to be a good attempt there. As you say, they saved the lasso for it. But I guess what just with this build, the S and Y, Jug just tanky enough to live through
Radiant's
the
middle
damage
tower
that they
is
had
under
to offer
attack.
whilst that lasso was going.
Yeah, he literally just survived. The Omni Slash protected him because of how much damage he dodged during it, and then he could get his healing order reset. And now, they're gonna have their ults up ready
Dire's
again.
bottom
Max is ready, and I just heard Spartan's egg go off.
He's trying to find the two
Radiant's
of them,
middle
and he is
tower
out
is
with a
under
dive and
attack.
TP.
Dire's
Might
bottom
find him
tower
through
has
his no
fallen.
vision on the cliff and nothing to cancel it.
Didn't get away, but now, yeah, RP is going to be ready, and I'd imagine that Burjui, they can look to take any type of heads-up fight here because that lasso, everything was used. Egg so down. They're in a good
Radiant's
spot and
middle
continue
tower
to
is under
grow
attack.
that lead. And killing Focus there is just nailing the coffin a little bit there for the time being as he gets slowed down even more so. And he needs to have this kind of perfect game on this Luna, it feels, to be able to match this Jug's farm. And now another form of initiation, a real one on the side of Burjui. Besides that, Magnus, who doesn't always want to be the first to go, they have the Sanctum Blade, so easier ways to set up kills.
Dire are scanning.
Both of the cores, really. I mean, all three of the cores really suffer if they're jumped upon. And IO, in general, Squishing is. I guess Wish is able to build up. That Ag's very close to being done on Wish on the helm, so still hitting good timings. The IO, not quite the same as Jug Mag.
Yeah, it does feel like they're going to have to start getting a lot more of split up engagements around the map and just get these last... They're going to have the Blink Dagger pretty soon on the bat. Skylark does have it. They're going to have to start utilizing this great map control that they can't have with IO, is setting up these lasso ganks and global
Radiant's
potential,
bottom
moving
tower
around
is
heroes,
under
and just
attack.
start moving the map around. However, Burjui is doing what they want. They have a Coddle to recall too.
Up in, Flags, he's going to open the RP straight away onto Wish. Wish is going to never over to the sky. With the backups there from the Jury, they'll be able to make sure that Wish has no escape. More than happy.
Can they go to Roche with that too?
I mean, I
They're
think
thinking
so, right?
about it.
The Supernova is back up. Still, of course, just a level 1 egg, so, you know, against a team with the Jug, always be able to easily take it out. This is a fantastic position. I don't think it's going to matter. Riddick's able to put the Blade Fury, and with that turn straight up towards the egg, take down the Supernova. As they are just running at the Jury. They knew that Brame was going to try and pull something together around that roast pit, and they just ran at them. They just didn't give Brame any sort of chance to set up and just continue to exercise the use they have.
Nice ops ward that they placed right here up on that kind of sneaky spot. It was spotted, but gave them the opportunity for Baruka to get that quick jump in. And yeah, they just evaporate the heroes. And I believe that was like all the ults used as well from Brame. So even so, it's going to be harder for them to fight when they do respawn. As Jug, he didn't use the Omni Slash. They did have to use the RP
Radiant's
earlier on,
bottom
but
tower
that was
is
way
under
earlier
attack.
when they killed the IO. It's back up in 50 seconds.
I'll hurry my
Burjui just
fool
continuing
spike
to
in.
be at a big advantage in this game and not really let up at all for Brame.
Focus.
He's
Plus.
so far behind. It's looking real hard for him to really recover in this game. It's so much damage that they do have on the side of Burjui. This is a 1200 HP Luna. He's just gonna get evaporated in every single one of these fights. And there's a butterfly even on a Jug. Oh my god.
No, I mean, yeah, 18 minutes in. 18 minutes in. This man is massive. You know, I think what BSK said, you know, you just can't itemize as a listener against it. In a game when you're behind, like there's nothing that you can buy to keep you alive in this. You're sort of relying on Wish with the tether, but of course even that, you know, this is not a being mid-IO, it's not an IO with any sort of mech or buff to give you something against that incredible amount of burst damage that will come whilst you're caught in the reverse polarity.
Yeah, they don't really have that kind of counterplay, right? Like it's gonna have to come way later down the line, like an Aghanim Phoenix to grab people in egg, but they're not gonna get to that point at this pace. It's Burjui just taking over the map, looking to be super aggressive, and yeah, just looking to set up constantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Constant pressure.
yeah, I'll be interested to see what Spartan
Radiant's
does
top
get,
tower
because
is under
as you say,
attack.
maybe something like that Ags is sort of the only way that you can go. You've got to be thinking, how do you keep this in the fighting fit in the team fight? Gold lane,
Surrounded up here.
they remember the jump straight away onto Wish. Wish trying to run. He goes with the tether to the side. but quickly up and break back in the river as well. The man's also been caught. They'll finish off Wish there with the hard hits to the jug. Spartans try for the TC out. They've got anything to tackle. They do. She's got the blow straight back up and ready. 3 down.
Radiant's bottom
Burjui
tower is under attack.
starting to really hit back against Brame as hard as Brame did against them in this game too.
It's starting to feel pretty impossible. I see the build changing from focus too. He knows he can't actually get into the fight ever. He's going for the Aghanim build, and it's into the Juggernaut. And it's into already, I believe, a BKB of Flax. So this is feeling harder and harder and just more and more impossible for Brame. For sure, they came very well prepared and executing it perfectly.
I mean, this is what you got to expect is going to happen when you found to die for a rampage. You know, you're going to make the team a little angry coming into game 3. And Burjui, yeah, certainly getting a little bit of revenge for being fountain dove for that rampage. They're certainly back here in game 3.
Are scanning.
They kind of put themselves in this position this game, right? Like they knew what these lanes were going to be when the Batrider was picked and the Jug was picked, and they decided to keep it like this. So they're, you know, I feel like a lot of this could be expected with the way that they set up the lanes. Like Io's not going to beat a Magnus mid, Batrider's not going to beat a Jug. Your hope is that Luna has a good time top, where I could say that Focus recovered okay, but it still wasn't an easy lane for him. So just under the gun all the time, it's just tough to make moves.
Top. Jump on Skylark. Skylark just having to use the lasso to really keep himself safe.
Trying.
He's trying to poke back at Uka, but with the healing ward out there. Himself away, so again, just his ultimates have to be used by Brame in situations that purely keeping themselves alive rather than allowing them to get anything done against Burjui.
Yeah, it just feels like they don't have many moves on the map really to
Radiant's
do.
bottom tower is
The
under
Knicks
attack.
looking to alone to kind of set up for these games, but
Dire's
it's
middle
always
tower is
Burjui
under
together.
attack.
Their supports are never getting
Dire's
caught out alone, using
structures
Flax
are
is always with his
fortified.
teammates, getting him powers up on the Jug.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Just very clean play
Dire's
coming
top
up from
tower
Burjui.
is under attack.
Tier 2's no chance from Brame
Dire's
to
top tower
pull together
has
any
fallen.
defense. They've just got to let these towers
Radiant's
go.
bottom tower is under attack.
Still trying to eye up that tier 1 in the mid lane here, 22 minutes in.
Uh-oh, look at bottom focus. They have the read on where he is.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Because he's got to run, closing the gap here. Lucid Beam will stop the blink for now, but again, another beam does stop it. But he's going to block it back in range. And an Omni Slash alone will do it. Runic cleaning up focus. Another kill for the Jug. Closer to
Radiant's
having
middle
the
tower is under attack.
again. Incredible item.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Is it over? Oh, he popped. Suvic's trying to take it out, but he can't do so right.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ult's being used and really getting done here by Brame. Starting to play around with Spartan too. He's diving away. Trying to escape with Spartan and the TP.
Is he okay?
He's going to be okay. The fountain healing should be enough to offset through the maledict. So he will manage to make it out.
Spartan is actually insane. That's all I can say about that whole entire engagement I just saw. Because he was just man-fighting the Witch Doctor for 35, 40 seconds. He's about to tick to Maledict, pops his egg, and somehow he sticks around instead of just bailing out. He stuck around to try to go for him again. I mean, he's making a great first team leader. They much need. As their poor Nyx gets two-shotted by the Magnus.
Flax as well. He's built up very safely. I mean, as we've seen, the Echo, I think Echo and the levels he has is alone to do what he wants to do. Now not only with BKB, but Trench Golden, he's going to have a full link.
Yeah,
Very
then he can
hard
just
to
protect
control.
himself for his Jug. Yeah.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Killer Monster cleaning it up.
That was lame.
Uka will go down, Skylar.
Dire's middle tower has
Still,
fallen.
Burjui, even a man down, they don't
Missing
care.
Dire's middle tower
Straight
is
up
under
into
attack.
tier 3. And there's very little Brame to do to hold this off. If Brame turn up, they've got to be prepared to deal with an RP. 30 seconds to Omni Slash.
The IO is a bit annoying. The
Radiant's
constant
bottom
spirits
tower
coming out
is
and hitting
under
them, so
attack.
they will give some respect. They do have about 40 seconds left, 50 seconds left on that Aegis. Got some nice other items too. Flag still lingering in the area, still keeping them trapped in their base, keeping this farm going. Scotty, pretty much done here for Runic.
Fast from it.
They're about to even have, they're about to have Ags on the bottle too.
Yeah,
So.
Chillamaster just holding up to 3,800 gold.
Oof, this is going to make the fights even more dominant for them, having a Will-O-Wisp thrown up on top too, with all their already overbearing team fight too. When he gets this, these fights are going to get much harder. It's not feel like it's ever going to get easier for Brame. Rune, as wards are perfectly set up too. Burjui has all the vision in the world watching them. Skylark.
Deserve a better
Flax even getting the courier with that RP.
Continue to have a lovely time here. Not being stopped at all. 606.
No.
Been able to go where he wants. Said for, of course, Runic. 7-5. No difficulty. However.
Nope. And then as soon as they do go look at for these annoying heroes like Spartan who's cutting waves and whatnot, they're just going to recall their buddies to the mid lane and continue this push. Aegis is gone. He wants to be playing. But with the healing ward, more than enough to be able to go through this.
Dyer's middle barracks.
To really stop that. The main
Radiant's
ranks go
bottom
down.
tower is under attack.
Trying to poke towards flags, but it's almost impossible to make a move on this matchup.
Skylark trying to go in here.
Dyer's middle barracks are under attack.
He's never get the play Fury out. The last bit comes to an end. He's fine. Egg will be popped. Uka's trapped right underneath us. But at least they can get the strength out of this one. As Uka left behind by the rest of the squad. Again, just two cores, Runic and Flax just unable to
Dyer's
lock
middle
down
barracks
by
are
what
under
Brame
attack.
has. The last so alone, it's just not enough to hold his position to kill him.
Not with yes and wide, you know, that little bit of status resist, that 25%, it's quite a bit now, actually.
It's quite a lot now, though.
It's enough to be able to get that spin off the list. They will find bottom for the match will go down. At least taking advantage of that pressure they used to push away Burjui's lineup. They'll get a kill, but not getting the big targets.
Runic as well, getting the shard this game. Out of the carry heroes in the game. Betting shards on a cap.
Yeah, especially with how good Blade Flurry is going to be in this game anyway, right? Like, he's going to be attacking, he's got the power, he's going to be able to get a lot of benefit out of it, getting hit by so much spell.
So,
I like it.
Yeah, especially in these situations where
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
the likelihood is you are
Radiant
going to be Blade
structures
Fury.
are fortified.
Exactly.
Not only protecting us. The hits add up, being able to hit hard whilst Blade Fury.
Yeah, and he has,
like Luna.
and he has the Scotty too, so it applies as well, right? So
yeah,
it's nice to
Can't run.
continue that chase and get all that kind of good stuff going on. So yeah, I think it can be nice. He's got the 22, so even more damage on it if he chooses to go for that talent. They're pushing all these heroes away.
Radiant's bottom
Focus to
tower
get some
is under
much
attack.
needed farm, as he is going to be going for that build that I was mentioning early in the game that I felt like it might go toward his E-Blade Aghanim. So all magic damage. Catch some heroes off guard.
I mean, it's going to be the quickest way of doing as much damage as possible during that moment that the hero, whoever it is lassoed.
Missing middle.
And especially if he's
On the
tethered
lasso.
and he has this int vambrace, like the damage,
yeah.
that magic amp, it could kick in. It could be enough for them to kill heroes.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. It's definitely going to be the way to highest amount of damage, most amount of damage.
And it allows him to play in a different style, because usually with Luna, you're kind of running in a little bit closer. This style always lets you sit in the back. Feather out.
Someone have two of them with the stun. Burjui won't be able to chase one further. Careful, that's what comes out. Grab onto the jump, doesn't it? Jump goes down. Picked up a triple with this Eclipse. They're going to be able to find a Eclipse as well. The hold is there, and it's working. The Aghanims Eclipse as you say, it just these looser beams tear through them. Blacks will be able to make it out of the BKB TP. But maybe this will do it. If they can continue to make moves like this again, the pressure really on Skylark to continue to pull these plays out, and he has been doing so. Every time being able to get in and grab the jug with the lasso. If he keeps the jug like this reliably, maybe Brame's got this one. Maybe they have got this one in the bag. The whole rest of it doesn't matter if they can just kill the jug like this.
And they can keep getting these grabs. Yeah, Skylark just gets the perfect opportunities. There's nothing was casted by Burjui. No abilities were able to be cast from the way that initiation went down. And they even have the ceremonial roll. So even more magic resistance. I mean, this damage is quite and Luna is down 20. So even more damage. Crazy they're able to accomplish this.
Pulling the Wisp down. To look towards Dominant. I said that there's Dominant's still alive here. Coming off to the side. Spike cap.
Oh,
the TP out. And he is away. No, he died.
Already,
He did die. It was
about.
close. Wait, what did he die to in the film? What killed?
Was it like a blast that
Blessings
hit him at
upon
the
a
end? I
loyal
actually don't even know
warrior.
what killed him at the end.
Oh,
there.
Dire
What would it
are
kill? What was on
scanning.
him? So blind, obviously. Damage? I don't know. Can we get a replay on that?
An auto attack or something that
Is it
flipped
just
him
an auto
as his
attack from
TP
the
finishing?
all
I
right.
didn't get
I don't know
that.
what killed him inside the fan.
That was lame.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
But definite signs of life. That is pretty huge. Just approaching what, 11, 12k advantage for both gold and experience, and they've chunked it
Oh, we're going
down.
to see it again here on the
They're
replay.
just even.
I don't know if you see this, Fog. Is it just a right click?
Let's see.
He's...
Dire's bottom tower is under
Oh,
attack.
it was just the right click. The right click connected as the TP had finished, but of course, you know, for whatever reason, this TP's word is like a
Dire's
frame where
bottom tower
you're out with
has
the TP,
fallen.
but I don't know. I mean, it hit the perfect time.
Radiant's top
Ball-
tower
ball
is
of
under
light now
attack.
from killing.
Yeah, baby.
Frame perfect.
Very perfect. Io's be level 21 as well, too, like Wish. He is starting to be kind of a beast, too, with his damage. He's got the
Radiant's
Staunch
top
Kaya,
tower
so even
has
more
fallen.
damage amp. These spirits start to really hurt.
Relax. Here with this skewer. Careful, again he found the loser, but this time the Blade Fury's up in time. They can't pull up immediately, but he clicks now the Suno's under threat. Now with the RP onto Wish, they got it back. This Eclipse is down, Lucas just dies. Immediately dead. Wish is up for a second life on the side, someone and taken out by the Death Lord. They're looking over at War 2, but they'll find the Sand King as well. Again, Focus just able to find the opening to drop the Eclipse and eliminate the jug. And Skylark, he's chasing on.
I think this jug, he just queued it up. I was about to say, I think he needs a BKB. I think he has to have more ways to play around to be able to
Eclipse.
dodge out. Either
Radiant's top
he has to get
tower
on
is
top of
under
an
attack.
Omni-Slime during it, or just has to be more careful with his spins, but he has to spin there because of with the lasso. Yeah, it really feels like he has to try to kind of switch up his build a little bit there. As Focus is just able to get the perfect positioning every time.
Yeah, it's solid stuff from Focus. And Kaya, Refresher, he's got it queued up next, just building completely around this Eclipse. As, you know, as I say, this is something that Luna's have been doing.
Yeah.
And, well, you're seeing a beautiful showcase of why here. As he's just wiping out the enemy carry with an ultimate every single time.
And wait till he's got 3 more levels, right? Then it's the mini stuns that come out. You can't even really react a lot of the times. It is pretty unbelievable. They can definitely make this work. Also, they have fun. I think I used to see this in the past. Is the IO relocate, and you put the ulti on the IO, and you can just blast people, but I don't think we'll see it the Ion cannon. Because you can globally do that one if you throw it onto your teammate and he jumps out.
No, for sure. For sure. I mean, most of the time in these situations, you know, they've just not needed to do it right because they're coming towards them. Burjui is still trying to get the job done, but he's still on the hero damage. Those last few fights, the Focus is starting to literally eclipse the numbers that Runic is hitting. So Runic just not being able to find the opportunity to get the job done, even in that situation where he got the Blade Fury out before the lasso. When the lasso finished, he just sort of cut it out to a point where he just didn't have anyone to jump on with the Omni Slash. Nice move from Brame, making it very hard for Runic to play his game in this team.
This one, at least in particular, feels like it's going to be...
Dire
It does
are
like a lot of the
scanning.
times when you're playing versus like Magnus, they have to be really careful about these jumps. If they can, they have to have vision in particular on the side of Burjui. They have to have some high ground vision because that's really what has screwed them over in the last two fights. In particular, Skylark has had perfect vision and he pick and choose which targets he was able to go for.
Yeah, earlier, just Skylark's
Radiant's
moves
bottom
and,
tower is under
yeah,
attack.
him as the bat, they wouldn't be able to do this without any of the jumps that he's made has really allowed them to start to turn this game around.
Yeah, Uker, he has this gem. He's leading the charge for the most part here with Kilomancer. They're looking to get information, looking for some type of fight. So they still are very strong as long as they can get this jump off. As long as they don't get their jug last, as long as they can get on top of this Luna. Look at where Focus is positioned every time. He's always so far back.
He's going in for this here. Look at Skylark 2 to make sure there's no opportunity for less of this time round. Taking down Wish. Skylark's got to buy back. The opportunity with his hook backs out, but they're starting to back away. Burjui for the flame break. Looking really back in range on the eclipse. Uka tries to go in on the way, but the easy spot. Uka's held out to the side. Absolute Fix will be turned towards by the Luna the Eye. The cast does hold the turn back for now. Uka tries for a few down. The Mules is there to cancel it. Absolute Fix will not escape either as Wish beats him down during the TP. As another team fight heavily going the way of Brame. They had to buy back on Skylark, but absolutely worth it. Just that extra bit of catching control there with the flame breaks, allowing them to keep the jug held in range and in position
Radiant's
to
bottom
make
tower
sure the
is under
Eclipse
attack.
once again was able
Radiant
to do the damage
structures are
that
fortified.
they need to do.
How many times have they got? They've got him 3 times now at this Eclipse. I feel like one of these, if you know that your jug is going to be this shell lethal, how many times that he's having to use the spin immediately, I feel like one of these supports has to get a glimmer to kind of protect them. They did have, I think, maybe some vision toward the end,
They've
but
both
not
got
for a
glimmers.
while.
They have both
They've got
got
2
glimmers.
of them. That's why I'm like, how is he getting focused so right every time? Flax, nice little BKB out of top.
Radiant's
a
bottom
lot of heroes
tower
up
is
there,
under
but
attack.
yeah, they have to start solving that issue because it's 3 times in a row. They have to start saving the glimmers for him if there is no reveal in that fight. But yeah, 3 times in a row now. Really, you can blame the supports a little bit, but also have to watch the positioning. Runik's got to be more careful and more aware of maybe just, it might sound counterintuitive, but maybe running into the fight rather than running away so that he can get this Omni Slash off. Because 3 times in a row now, has to be careful because Brame is pretty much fully caught back up into this game.
I mean, here we go now, though. The BKB's
BKB.
done. So we'll see how
Got his
much
own
this
way.
sort of changes the situation. Again, though, Skylark, if he finds the lasso before it comes out, then that BKB is not going to matter at all. So, oh, and look what they found. The dream for the Luna.
Oh
Right.
my god.
There it is. Oh,
And
yeah.
he's upgraded
Oh,
to
baby.
up Prism too. Okay.
Oh,
wait,
he's
nice.
out. Oh, he's got both of the nice ones.
He's like, oh god, which one? He's like,
He's
I'll take this one.
He's going to go with the cooldown.
He's like, you know what? The Timeless Rock's good on the IO too, because you don't see it as much, but the spirits are doing an
Radiant are
unbelievable amount of
scanning.
damage to fights. And the smoke, they might get the wraparound here.
Get the battle with that as well. Runek able to move in with the BKB, take him down. Just there, Runek taking heavy damage, but this time the Brave series on. Focus on Witch. Keyblade will catch the Witch Doctor. And then grab Focus. And Runek goes right in on the Luna. Luna's down. Triple kill from him. Witch will fall as well. This time they're able to get the fight going. And just a great start there. Flax able to find that RP and an unfortunate dive from Spartan. Did get the egg off, but of course meant that he had to use the egg in a position where everybody was ready and waiting to take him out immediately.
Yeah, and even though Skylark, he got the lasso on Runic, pulled him onto the cliff, Runic actually got the time to get the Omni Slash off instantly, gets down off the cliff. His BKB wears off, but his spin is back up. He's that re-engage. Focus. He used his entire load there. He used everything. He refreshed and popped both eclipses, but they were able to get up onto him because everybody else was mostly dead except for him and the IO. If he gets collapsed on, that's where we're going to see that happen. They can just kill him very easily, but if he can keep the distance, he still can do some stuff. But that's a big fight. That was the BKB reveal from Runic. Now they can actually get some nice wards and maybe even look to close out this last Rax here. No bad fighter for 40.
The Arcane link on Flash, the uptime of RP is right. Every single time it's going to have that reduced cooldown on the RP. Will-O-Wisp on the side, they do focus. Few Rax, Flash wants to jump point. Take down this Rax. Committing what's the play during. Get themselves the Rax, now they're back off. There's any catch here from Brame, Spine. With the dive, he'll turn over the water. Steer it back, also, and Spine, he's in trouble. He's taken out, he's down.
The light fades.
Oh, and healing ward's down, so they full reset, and they're going to be full health to continue pushing here. Go back now to the top. They'd like to make the move over. I think they can. They do have bounty runes up, so I guess they're going to go for those instead. Play it a little bit safer.
I'll take
They
yours.
did have 50 seconds without Phoenix, though.
See you,
Lots of money to spend.
take this one, but Black's finding the Trick's Cloak. I mean, that's another little item that can come in very handy against the Eclipse.
Scanning.
Being able to sneak away in the shadows.
Smoke out, they've got to go fight right there. Everything is up. Level 25 now on the Luna 2.
Fine. Super tanky.
See, I guess this game he doesn't, there's no argument for the attack to their target. They're not really attacking at all in this game. It's all spell damage.
Yeah, just throw out the Eclipse. And
Dire's
Well, I
middle
hope that they
tower
get there.
is under attack.
the Heroes of Burjui running in the wrong area.
Nice patience here by Burjui, seeing these the creeps and the catapults hitting tier 4's mid. They are aware that that smoke is coming out because they went threatened, quote unquote, the Roche that wasn't existing yet, but now Roche does spawn. They go in there quickly. All the pressure in the world on Skylark now. Focus, this is probably one of the better places for him to fight, depending on how the fight does jump and go off, if they're not under vision. Sneaky ward is still down. Let's have it there at the ready.
Dire's
Dyer
current
has to push around. Rochebeard falling very quickly. Gonna have to try and make a jump soon. Will-O-Wisp is out. Will get that Aegis still. Brune can pick up the axe. Let's go. Hops the egg, but again able to take it down with ease. With that Blade Fury and over to the side. Uka's from the center block. Get both of the Eclipses on. But it does also cost them the life of the Luna themselves.
Radiant's courage has
Focus
been
will
killed.
fall. Wish able to get out of the fight.
He's gonna return though. He had to reload out, so he's gonna be coming back. Skylark.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Running.
Might be able to scurry away actually with Spider Legs.
Alright, he's out. Up onto the high ground and get
Dire's
away.
middle tower
So it's
has
now-
They did
fallen.
lose their tier 4.
Yeah.
Catapults are still going in.
And they're now down 30,000 gold. A painful fight around that Roshan pit. Where they did burst through the jug very quickly.
They did.
Weren't able to take anyone else. And you saw as well just how quickly the Luna fell. There's no buyback on the Luna. No buyback on Focus. No buyback on Skylark. So be down to Wish and Stominen and Spartan to hold against this. Maybe they'll have a bit of safety in the fact that the Jury, of course, are still down the jug for 35.
And they get the jug. I mean, the rest of the team is very strong on Burjui. That's the big thing too. So once the Luna dies, most of their damage is gone. But this Magnus has been an absolute beast. Black finding another target, pulling him out of the base.
The buyback here, Dominance, so the team is trying to alleviate this pressure that Burjui are putting on up top. Playing that final set. Barracks from Brame.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Constant Spirit is so annoying. Flax keeps looking to get like a blink skewer off and just gets hit by Spirit every time. Just can't let you get the opportunity. They're gonna recall the jug
Dire's
with
ancient
that nice
is
tunnel.
under attack.
Waste of time running over there. Now he has his own Lincolns as well on top, more protection. On top of his own Aghanims. He's got
Dire's
mini
top
omnis. He's got so many different ways to protect himself now.
Dire's top barracks is under attack.
Jumping onto Wish.
Dire's
With
top
the RP.
barracks has fallen.
Couldn't get
Got
it
hit by
by
Spirit.
Dire's top
They
barracks
do
has
still get the
fallen.
racks.
The radiant Dire's ancient is
Starlight
under
dragging in
attack.
Brunek. Brunek still able to step away. Not enough to get it. And the Lotus, the
Dire's
flash.
ancient is under
Follow-up
attack.
stun onto the jug. And then the E-Blade and a crits. Late Fury's back up though, so Runic doesn't care. Be able to step out of the ultimate. Should be happy to back up. They got the megas. I know that they can play it pretty easy from here on out. Runic might actually look to go towards Wish. He does. He's still got the two of them. Running towards this Messiah. Wish. Those steps to play with. Still set it up. They just beat Runic. That's pushed down for 3 minutes. Runic push flashes up. Dominant. The Eclipses causing a bit of an issue for the team, but Runic will still survive. And back in he goes with the full ult onto the two of them. Skylark has the ult to down. Skylark forcing away, popping the BKB. Runic turns over towards Focus instead. As Focus falls, two of them down for 100 seconds. Focus and Wish. The mega creeps up, and Burjui having Runic ready to lead the charge. Should be their opportunity to close up this game for it.
Dire's Ancient
How
is
fight
under
though brought out
attack.
from Brame. I did not think that they were going to be able to get even these type of recovery plays throughout that mid game. They fought hard. It was tough from the start though. This whole game, I just feel like it was pretty impossible. It's out for them again. This